Hi, I had to replace an old worn out relay, so I had a look on eBay and found some relays made by Omron, a very reliable, well-known name, and at quite a reasonable price, only just a little over £5 for both the relay and the socket. The relay has two double pole contacts rated at 10 amps each, and a 240 volt AC coil, plus a pretty little LED to indicate when the coil is energized, which I considered a good idea. So the relay was activated, and after about 15 minutes I checked up on it and noticed a rather naff aroma of cooking varnish, which was horribly familiar. The relay was very warm to the touch. This rang alarm bells. Further investigation was required. So, with the relay cover off, the old finger test. Let's just see how warm it is. And here we go. Oh, that's pretty hot. And now the wire coming out of the resistor to the LED. Oh, yes, pretty warm. Don't try this at home, by the way, because at that point I was 180 volts above ground. Now we'll try a bit of water. In fact, this plate is so hot it's a job to get any water to remain on it. This stud which goes through the middle of the coil is particularly hot. But as you can see, once there's a bit of water there, it evaporates very quickly indeed. Unbelievably hot. It's all gone. So okay, undaunted, let's try a bigger blob of water and see how long that takes. There we go. It's already rapidly receding. Can you just imagine the temperature of this? It must be getting close to boiling point to evaporate this quickly. And there you go, it's all gone. This is too darned hot. I went to my local radio spares store and purchased a relay which had ostensibly the same specs, 240 volt coil, 10 amp contacts, and with a pretty LED, only this time green instead of red. And I thought I would compare the two, and the results are quite interesting. The radio spares relay was made to a full British specification and cost about a third more than the Chinese relay. But as we shall see, it is well worth the price difference. Firstly, let's have a look at the LEDs. The Chinese relay on the left with the red LED had a 150k resistor in series with the LED, and it was just slapped across the mains. This resistor, after a period of time, discoloured, and the plastic began to recede and melt back from the resistor. Plastic gives off flammable fumes when it does this, and in the enclosed space of the relay, once the cover's put back on, the resistor failing and flashing, which it inevitably will do, or simply flashing from the contacts, could actually ignite those vapours. The RS relay, on the other hand, on the right hand side with the green LED, that had a 120k resistor, but there was one crucial difference, and that was that it had a diode fitted, and this of course halves the load more or less on the resistor. There you go, one diode. Slapping a LED across the mains with just a current limiting resistor and no diode, regardless of the LED colour, is plain LED abuse. And a side-by-side view showing the relay on the left again, which is the Chinese one, and the one on the right, which is the RS British specification relay, clearly showing its diode in the lead. You will also notice the coils. The coil on the relay on the left, the Chinese one, is smaller in diameter than the one on the right. It is also beginning to seriously discolour due to the heat that is generated, and this is only after 2 or 3 hours of operation. The Chinese one definitely skimps on copper and has a DC resistance of 10,000 ohms. The RS one has a DC resistance of well over 15,500 ohms. I know that's not AC impedance, but it gives a general indication that there's more copper and therefore more magnetic flux in the RS one than in the Chinese, and more importantly, or just as importantly, far less heating. Other points worthy of note: the coil on the Chinese one dissipates over 3 watts of heat according to current measurements. The one on the right, the RS British spec relay, does just 1 watt. So it's more economical, and there's obviously going to be a lot less heat. I'm quite confident in saying that the Chinese relay, which is labelled Omron, is a total and utter fake. We are constantly being brainwashed into believing that European Union rules protect the consumer. It has fallen woefully short in this particular instance with these dangerous rip-off Chinese relays. And the same thing applies to numerous types of LED lights that I've come across as well, which are potentially fatal. So the moral of this tale is: get a relay from a reputable retailer who sells relays to British specifications. RS, Farnell, DigiKey, there's a load of them. You may pay a little bit more for the relay, or a lot more in some cases depending on the brand, but at least you'll have a relay which is reliable, will work for many years, and won't prematurely fail. The finger test on the RS relay yielded a coil that was warm, certainly not hot, and the same for the resistor. It was hotter than the coil, but well within specifications. And as for the water test, well, if we'd have waited for that to evaporate, it would have been a very long video. Thanks for watching.